noticed this man was naked, butt booty naked. So I take my phone flashlight and I'm like, let me see what's in there, right?
And don't believe a lie, you understand me. Walk her down the valley, pack a piece of heaven for the bottoms of her feet. Teach her how to jump and how to stretch when she reaches.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so you know every single time I post, and follow me on my social media, which will be in the description box down below. And if you're not new, hey boo, how you doing? How you been? As you can tell by the title of the video, I was not alone, okay? I was not living alone like I thought I was. It was a mess, okay? It was a lot, but we about to get into it. Before we do, I gotta remind you again, follow me on social media. It's in the description. Subscribe to this channel. It is free. Go ahead and subscribe. You hear me? Whatever site is on, subscribe. Turn on the post notifications so you know every single time I post. So, you would think, Chrissy, come on now. You know when somebody in your place. You know when somebody in your spot. Come on, how this happened? Well, you would think it was obvious, but it wasn't, okay? And we're gonna get into that. This was my first time ever renting an apartment. I ended up touring the spot and moving in within like a week. The prices was cheap. By that, I should have known that something was wrong because ain't nothing cheap. But yeah, the prices was cheap for the area that it was in. The apartment was like in pristine conditions. And I just thought the landlord was like super eager for me to move in. Like I just thought he was like, oh yeah, we found somebody that wanted it. Here you go. Boom. We got somebody in there. We got the lease going. We making money here, okay? My apartment number was 311, which if you don't know this, my like birthday / lucky number that I always catch it, or I always like see it somewhere, is 911. I don't know why, but this was kind of like a sign. Even though it wasn't 911, it was 311. I was like, okay. Because 911 for an apartment would be ridiculous. The 9th floor, this is not a high rise, babe. This is regular. I walked in, like I said, it was in great condition. The landlord did tell me that a few people had lived here before, but it didn't really look like it. Like it just looked super brand new. Of course, they're gonna clean it, you know, but it just looked like they just built it. I noticed when I walked in, just like this back here, there's paintings that was already put up, and I was like, okay, the paintings do add a nice little, you know, to it, you know, because I've never been the type to have paintings up. It's always, you know, like tapestries, the vines right here. This is my room in my parents' house. Or I have like a whiteboard up with the calendar. I have my birth certificate up here. It's not really a birth certificate. It's like something they gave me from Italy that's like, you know, whatever. And then I have a painting I made up here that was in one of my other story times hanging up. So like me buying paintings was not like, I'd never done that. So I was like, okay, I'll just keep them. Why not, you know? Plus it added a little something. Like, you know, when you first walk into an apartment, it's empty. There's no furniture, there's no nothing. It kind of added something for me, you know? So it looked nice. I was like, let me just keep it. Why not? This apartment was 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. I was gonna be living alone. And it's crazy for the price that I got this 2 bedroom, 1 bath. It was crazy. That's why I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna snatch that up. One of those rooms was the bedroom, and one of those was a work from home office, because even like right here, all of this over here, y'all can't see it, is monitors. The only thing that was kind of off about the apartment was the smell. Like every so often walking around certain spots, you would smell this like really musty mildew type smell. And I'm just like, okay, is something leaking? Like I need to know this now, because some of my money finna get back to me, or somebody gonna fix this ASAP, because I'm not gonna move in here with it smelling like that. The landlord was like, there's no leaks, none of that. I don't know where that's coming from. I was like, okay, cool. You know what? I'll figure it out, because I like my smell goods. I like my candles. Like my house, my apartment is not gonna be smelling like this. It's just not. Fast forward to a couple weeks later. I didn't notice anything until like now, a couple weeks later. It wasn't too like noticeable. Like it was just like stuff being misplaced. So I would think it was missing. And it's like me, once I place something, most of the time, now, sometimes I do be forgetting, but most of the time when I place something down, I know where to find it. This is the thing I lose the most, my phone. I placed it down and I'm like, where did it go? I don't know, because I don't even have the ringer on. So you can call my phone and I'm still not gonna find it. I just have to remember where I put it at. But yeah, I noticed little things getting misplaced. I also found the fridge left open a couple times. But mind you, these things would be going on while I'm sleeping. So I wake up and things would be misplaced. The fridge was open. And I was like, okay, there's no way that somebody is coming into my apartment, breaking in, or has a key coming into my apartment, moving things around, opening the fridge and taking stuff out of the fridge. You're stealing meaningless things. Like, there's no way that that's happening. That was like the first thing that was off. It made me low-key feel like I was going crazy, for real. Like, I know I didn't leave the fridge open all night. I know I didn't wake up, sleepwalk, and open the fridge, have a little snack, and leave the fridge open, go back to sleep. I just know I didn't do that. I just know it. And I know I'm not waking up in the middle of the night, sleepwalking, moving stuff around. That's not me. I was like, let me look into a security system, some type of ring camera, cameras in the apartment. I don't know, but we gotta do something. So I looked into it, y'all. One camera is ridiculously expensive. Getting the security system installed, expensive, okay? That was not an option. Even though this apartment was super cheap and utilities were not too bad, I couldn't afford the camera, the whole system to get set up. No, I couldn't afford that. I would say I'm like a light sleeper, but I also have difficulty sleeping sometimes. Like, I'll have the worst thing ever. I'll have sleep paralysis. Worst thing ever. Y'all, I am not used to looking right here. The camera's here. I'm looking at myself. I'm gonna try to look here. Okay. Sleep paralysis. I would have it every 4-6 months, or like, you know, twice a year, if that. It would just happen very randomly. Like, nothing triggered it or anything like that. It was very rare that it would happen. After moving to this place, every week, babe. Every week. Sleep paralysis for me is like, you know, you can't move, you're stiff. Sometimes you feel like you can't breathe, but your eyes are open, you're looking around, you just cannot move, you can't scream, you can't do anything. And it is very scary. And I've heard of some people, you know, like seeing dark figures, you know, come close to them, or they're seeing, you know, a person. I've heard of that, but I just haven't experienced that until I lived in this apartment. Like I said, a lot changed as soon as I moved into this apartment, which was one of those things was sleep paralysis. Like, that changed for me completely. Like, I wasn't having those little hallucinations or seeing dark figures before, but once I started noticing things was going missing and the fridge was getting left open, that's around the same time I started seeing things, right? With me on guard already, I started sleeping with a little mini lamp on my bedside table, just to like kind of confirm if I'm seeing something or not, or maybe it's a hallucination. Because mind you, I had never seen no ghosts, no monsters when I was younger, nothing like that. Like, I didn't have these things in my imagination that I could just see like that. Like, that was not happening for me. One night, as usual in this apartment, I woke up and I couldn't move. My body was stiff. It was kind of hard to breathe. I knew what was happening. Sleep paralysis. I knew what it was. I felt like somebody was there. Like, it was different this time. And usually when this happened, my mom, she would always tell me that, you know, just close your eyes, pray, just talk to God until you can move, and tell him like to help you through this, right? Because what they say is that the devil is on your back, or the devil's riding your back. Whatever. Some people have heard of that, some people haven't, but that's what my mom told me it was. You know, that's what I did. I closed my eyes. I'm just praying. I'm like, oh my God, Lord, please get me out of this. Like, you've gotten me through this before. I've gotten through this before. You brought me through this, okay, before. I know you can do it again. So I prayed that. I opened my eyes. And my lamp is still on, but I hear this creaking noise. It's like somebody is opening a door and creeping into my apartment. That's what it sounds like. So I'm just looking around. I see the door opening. And you know when the door is opening and somebody like your mom peeks into your room before she fully steps in? That's what was happening. So somebody was peeking in. I could not figure it out, but they slowly crept in to my apartment, right? They're just slowly creeping in. And I'm like, okay, because I can't say anything. Like, I am stuck. So they're slowly creeping in. I couldn't see at first, but when they got closer and closer to my little lamp, I could tell it was a man. I could tell it was a man. I could tell. He was bald. He had this dry, pale, white skin. Like, he looked like a ghost, or he looked like a skeleton almost. Like, he was skinny. He had these red sores all over his body. His teeth were yellow. He had this like creepy smile on his face as he's walking. And I'm like, I've never experienced nothing like this before. Like, I've never experienced this. So I'm just like, you know, I close my eyes occasionally. I open it to, you know, like see what's going on, praying. I'm just like, Lord, please get me out of this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Get me out of here. The man creeps in. He slowly creeps in, and he is in my fridge. Legit in my fridge. It's left open. He comes and creeps up. He's like right over me. Before he gets too close, I like close my eyes, but I can hear him coming. I can hear him like creeping up. Mind you, the biggest thing that was creepy, I noticed this man was naked, butt booty naked, like in my apartment, in the fridge. Like, he paid bills here, butt booty naked. Yeah. Okay, back to the point. He was scooching closer to me. Close my eyes. I don't see nothing. Probably a bad move. You watch the scary movies, that's probably a bad move. But girl, I couldn't do it. Anyway, don't judge me. I close my eyes, and all I smell is this man's hot, musty breath. And then I hear him walk away. And that musty breath, that's the same smell I be smelling. That funky, musty smell I told y'all about, that's the smell. It's the exact one. So I was like, okay, this is getting a little too real. But then the man left, creeped out and left. Just like he creeped in, he creeped out and left. As soon as he leaves, that's when I'm able to move out of this sleep paralysis. That would be the time that I can actually move, is when this man is, he done left already. Now I don't know if it's hallucination or if it's real. I don't know. I feel like I'm going crazy. That night was like one of the realest for me. Like, as far as sleep paralysis goes, I have never had anything like that happen to me before. What's crazy is, like, it was just so vivid. It felt like that man was standing there for a long time just staring at me. It was crazy. So, you know, the next day I wake up, I'm like, yep. Boop, boop, boop. Hello, yeah, HR. I'm not gonna be there today, boo. I ain't coming in, because I would not be able to focus. I'm not gonna be able to help people on phone calls. I'm gonna go blank. They're gonna be saying something, I'll be like, what did you say again? I'm gonna be in my room, in my office, trying to hear noises instead of the customer like, hold on, ma'am. Oh, okay. What did you need? Like, I was not about to be able to focus. So I called out. And when I did, I spent at least an hour looking everywhere possible that somebody could be hiding, because I was like, maybe somebody is like low-key living with me and I don't know, or like maybe this place is just haunted. I don't know. But I'm looking under the kitchen sinks, I'm looking in closets, I'm looking in the washer and dryers, I'm looking under the bed, I'm looking at every possible spot that any human being, especially how that man was built, I feel like he could have scrunched his body and fit in anywhere. I didn't find anything. I didn't find a thing. So I was like, okay. I physically looked and checked, and I was like, okay, it's just me. Something's going on. So I kind of convinced myself that this is a safe space. There is something going on in here, not in here. After that moment, things were about the same. Random objects was being misplaced or disappearing. The fridge being left open time to time. I'll have sleep paralysis pretty much every week at this point. The thing that kind of kept me a little bit calm was that when I did have sleep paralysis, it was the same man. So I ended up, please don't laugh, I ended up naming the figure or the hallucination PJ. I was like, yo, what up, PJ? We here, okay? Let me pray to God, you go away. And you know, that was that. I had to put a name to this person so that I wouldn't be as terrified. I don't want to say kind of got used to PJ appearing when I had the sleep paralysis, but I kind of got used to PJ. And that's kind of what put my mind at ease for the time being. But after the last sleep paralysis incident, which was the following week, a few days later, I was looking through papers in like the drawers. These were papers that were not mine, mind you. I was just looking through the drawers, cleaning up some stuff, and I found some papers. I started looking through. In those papers, I had found a photo. And I'm like, okay, this is definitely not my photo, because I rarely take Polaroids. I don't know if y'all see over there, these little dots, but those are Polaroids. I rarely have any of those. It was a picture of two women, and they were in front of this waterfall, and they were just hugging. So I was like, okay, this is not mine, but I know a woman lived in here before me, so maybe it's hers. So I hit up my landlord. We're gonna call him David. I'm like, hey, I found some papers in here. I found some photos in here. Can I get the previous tenant's phone number or email or something so I can figure out how to give her stuff back? He's like, yeah, sure. Here's her phone number. Before you know it, I am on the phone with this woman. Ring, 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 ring. Then you hear a woman answer, and she's like, hello, this is Rebecca. Who is this? I was like, hi, my name is Chrissy. I'm the current tenant living in apartment 311. I found some paperwork and some photos that you might want, so, you know, we could figure out a time to meet so you can pick them up, or I can mail them to you, but I just wanted to give you back your stuff. And then it goes silent. I hear nothing. I'm just standing there waiting for a response, like, hello? And this woman is like, you need to get out of that apartment. You are not safe. You need to get out of there. I'm like nervously laughing. I'm like, is this some kind of joke? Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, no, I'm not joking. I'm serious. Things have been going missing, right? And I'm like, pause, lady, pause. Pause right there. How do you know that? Now she caught my attention. I'm the only one here. I haven't told nobody, not even my parents, that things have been going missing and I've been seeing things. So how do you know this? She said it was happening to us. So her and her wife or girlfriend lived there, and she was like, little things would go missing, you know, not even nothing big, like maybe a candle would be misplaced or a lighter would be gone. Cups would be not where you last put them. She said nothing major, but we just noticed things were disappearing. She said that she never saw any of this. Her girlfriend did. So she was saying, okay, I never saw anything, but my girlfriend, she said she woke up in the middle of the night to get a glass of water, and she saw a naked man in the apartment just standing there staring at her. So she runs back to her, Rebecca, and they call the police. The police don't find anything. So she says all of that, and then it just goes silent. I'm like, what is it? Like, what are you talking about? Like, don't go silent now, Rebecca. What is it? And she's like, I think that apartment 311 is haunted. At this point, I was like, okay, PJ, you're not a hallucination anymore. Like, you're getting a little too real for me now, because you were even here with the last people. Like, come on now. Like, this is not funny. Rebecca's telling me that she thinks the apartment is haunted, and that her girlfriend was into like the horror type stuff. So she tried to do a cleansing ritual and it didn't work. So they just ended up packing their stuff and moving out. They paid to get out the lease and everything. Before her girlfriend did this little ritual cleansing thing to try to get PJ to go away, Rebecca was telling me they asked around, and apparently some of the neighbors were saying that, oh yeah, a man lived there before you guys, and he just ended up disappearing. Like, we don't know what happened to him, but he just disappeared. Rebecca was saying, we just assumed that the man died and his spirit was just in the apartment, and that is why it is haunted now. Which is a little crazy, because wouldn't somebody have found his body? Where is his body at if he died in here? Mind you, like, yeah, there's a musty smell, but like, it's not like a dead body smell. I did end up hanging up the phone. I was so shocked and like super awkward. I did not know what to do or what to say. Yeah, it was rude. Sorry, Rebecca, but I genuinely did not know what else to say to this woman. So after this call, I went and go sit down on the couch, and, you know, I'm chilling. And for some reason, I just started daydreaming. And I was staring at this painting that was already in there before I moved in. And the painting was of this woman in this white dress, and she was sitting under this tree reading a book. I snapped out of this daydream, and I was like, yeah, we gotta do something about this. We gotta figure something out. I get into my detective bag. I'm like, I'm gonna figure something out. So I started looking up this apartment complex I'm in, the area I'm in, obituaries. Like, I'm just like the Lifetime movies. And then I ended up figuring out that tenant that was there before Rebecca, the one that, you know, everybody claimed had just disappeared into thin air. Like, nobody found his body. They just assumed he was dead. I found out this man's name was Franklin. You know, I'm calling David. I'm like, yo, can I have some more info on this Franklin guy? Like, I'm like, David, I need who was the tenant before me? Like, I need to know something. So he actually did have some photos of this man. I guess they had a little party get together or something for the complex, and Franklin ended up being in the photo. Let me tell you something. Franklin looked just like PJ. And that's when I was done. Franklin looked just like PJ, he was less skinny, didn't have all them sores on his skin. He looked normal, like a healthy guy. PJ looked sick. He looked like a skeleton. He was creepy, red sores all over. It was just like yeah, this is getting a little real. When I tell you, after I saw that photo and I was like, oh yeah, that looks just like PJ, I immediately, and I mean expeditiously, expeditiously packed my bags, went straight to my parents' house. I was like, Mama, Dad, I can't do this. I'm going back. I even got off work for a couple days. Yep, PTO. I need to get myself together. I need to figure out what I'm finna do here. Let me tell you something, I ain't finna stay here. I didn't tell my parents that was the issue. I was like, this apartment has a roach issue. The landlord said he was gonna handle it. I could be back in a couple days. Boom. They was like, okay, yeah, come back. You're always welcome. They said, baby girl, always welcome home. Period. Let me tell you, instant change. I was back sleeping at my parents' house. No sleep paralysis, no hallucinations, no nothing. I slept like a baby. I had gotten the best sleep I have ever gotten since I left. For the next few days that I was off, I spent more time researching not so much who Franklin was, but how to get rid of him, how to get rid of his spirit in my apartment. So I was looking up cleansing rituals. I was looking up people in my area that possibly do the cleansing stuff like you see on the Insidious movies. I was looking up everything I possibly could look up. And most of the little myths or things that the people tell me to do, they was like, you know, put salt around your house, you know, that'll keep the spirits out, you know, whatever. Girl, I need to figure out how to get him out first. Otherwise the salt gonna keep him in. Like, I know I believe in there's good and evil, but I don't know. I just think you got to pray about some things. I don't know. But most things were telling me either salt or just give up and move out. And I think I'm just gonna give up and move out. That's what I'm about to do. But then I saw something that kind of piqued my interest here. It was saying that some spirits that die don't leave. They are bound to some sort of object where they passed away at until that object is destroyed completely. Not just getting rid of it, but destroying it completely will take their soul that has been bound, or their spirit that has been bound to this object, and it will set them free. And I was like, the paintings that I kept in my apartment, the ones that did not belong to me, and they were just there already. You know, I had assumed the landlord put them there, but maybe not. So that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, the paintings, that's the only thing that is not mine in that apartment. I ended up going back to the apartment, and first things first, I take the paintings down. I'm going one by one. I'm taking these paintings down. I have them in this bin. I make sure I know of an empty parking lot I can go, or somewhere I can go to burn these things and get them out of here, destroy them completely. I'm like making a list, make sure to get lighter fluid all the way. Like, we got to get rid of these paintings. I pull the paintings off one by one. I get to the last painting, the one that is in the living room, like kind of near the couch where I was sitting. The one I was staring at, that was the last painting. The one with the lady under the tree in a white dress reading a book, that was the last painting. So I take that painting off, and I'm just like, oh my God. Bro, like, I take the painting, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Oh. That's the most mustiest smell. That's the strongest that this musty smell has ever been. This is the strongest right here. I'm standing there, I'm like, dang, is it me? No, girl, cause your girl stay smelling good, okay? So I look back at where the painting used to be at, and there is a hole in the wall, and it's about 4 feet off the ground. And the hole was like, it was kind of small. It was like I would say like maybe like this big down here. It was just a big old box shape. And I'm like, what the f is going on here? So I go get my phone, and I'm like, okay, we got to see what's up in there. Like, I am fully prepared to look into this hole with this phone flashlight and see Franklin's dead body stuffed into the wall, like cut up into pieces, Jeffrey Dahmer type. Like, I'm ready to see something in, like, a dead person in his wall. So I take my phone flashlight, and I'm like, let me see what's in there, right? I dropped that painting so quick, and I'm like, I run out of that apartment. I called the police. I called my parents. I'm hysterically crying. They're like, what is wrong with you? Is it the roaches? No! Mama, it's not the roaches. Come get me now. Get a U-Haul. I'm out of here. I'm done. Right? I am done. Look at my mama calling me now. Like I said, I'm fully ready to see a dead body behind this wall. Like, before I even looked into the hole, I was like, I'm ready for death, rot, decay, and I'm ready for it all. Like, I am a FBI agent. I can do this. I'm a forensic scientist, whatever. I can do it. When I looked into that hole, girl, tell me why I see the real Franklin yellow teeth, red sores and all, staring at me from inside this wall. It is hollowed out. Like you can stand behind there fully. You can move everything behind that wall. Turns out this man had been living in this wall for 6 months.
You need to leave.
So that was a little bit of the last tenant, Rebecca and her girlfriend's time before I moved in, and the couple 2 months or whatever I stayed there. 6 months. This man was living in this wall, and you gonna tell me, landlord, you didn't know nothing? I should do a lawsuit or something. I'm suing, not only for emotional distress, but you have a man in the wall and you don't know. Child, I needed all my money back, period. This is your sign. Hotel, anywhere, check where you are staying. Check, because you never know. But yeah, that's the time I was not living alone, even though I thought I was. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the story time that is my life. Follow me on social media. It's in the description box down below. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe, turn on your post notifications. I will see you guys in my next video. I appreciate y'all so much. We are on the road to 2K. I love y'all so much. See y'all later. Bye.
Dear God, won't you send me a break? 'Cause I need to get away, yeah. Dear God, won't you send me a break? 'Cause I need to get away.